Hi everyone, welcome back to the Cosmic Temple and for Libra Risings. Um, this is your reading, your love, luck, and money reading for Aries season. Thanks for joining us. If you like this message and you like this channel, please give it a like and subscribe. Share it with somebody who loves astrology and tarot as much as you and me. So let's go ahead and get started. So looking at your chart, Libra Risings, your sun is in Aries in the 7th house, and it's the new beginning, especially when it comes to your relationships, your one-on-one partnerships. That could be romantic, that could be otherwise, that could be business, that could be things with family and friends or close friends. But generally, this is partnership, and this is like a new journey for you. Maybe for the good many Libra risings out there, there haven't been a lot of partnerships, or maybe there have been partnerships that just haven't worked out for you. But with that being said, because the sun is exalted in Aries, this next partnership could be special. You also have the Neptune, the Neptune, Neptune, Saturn, Venus, and the Moon in your 7th house as well. So when it comes to this new relationship that may be on the horizon for you, I think one of the things you may feel like that is happening is that you are chasing, and chasing after somebody may not be something that you are familiar with. Venus and the moon are not in their natural state here. Venus is chasing and does not like to be chased. Venus likes to attract. Venus would want things to come to them in particular, and the moon is in a position where it has to be more direct. Both Venus and the moon have to be direct here, and that's just not what they naturally do. So it may feel a little out of place for you to put yourself out there, especially when it comes to things that you're trying to achieve. But this is the period of time where you have to put yourself out there, especially with Neptune and Saturn being together. Neptune is that dream that you have been having in your head for probably the last year and a half, 2 years. You've been dreaming of big things, and Saturn is now requiring you to go and achieve those big things. Saturn itself is also not in the best state in Aries, but that doesn't mean that Saturn does not have any power here. Saturn, remember, rules are restrictions and rules are discipline. And with it being an Aries, there is a lot of things that Aries typically wants to do. It wants to go do the things, it wants to see the things. It's very fast starting. But the problem with Aries and a lot of cardinal signs is that they start quick, but they cannot follow through. And with Saturn being in Aries, now you're being required to follow through. So definitely come up with a plan that helps you if you are trying to set a goal, if you are starting a new relationship or maybe a new business partnership. Maybe come up with like a clear plan or identity or what it is that you want, or how you want your business to proceed, so that you can take those steps to make that move forward. Let's see what else. Jupiter is still in the 10th house of fame, public standing, and career. So this hard work that you're going to be required to put in, this can be beneficial, but again, this is going to be a challenge. This is not something that Aries in particular, especially when it comes to follow through with the plan, is going to be familiar with. But that doesn't mean you guys are not afraid of hard work. So keep that in mind, Libra rising. But let's go ahead and get into your love, luck, and money reading. So remember, it is one card each: one card for love, one card for luck, one card for money. I am using the Rider-Waite deck, and let's go ahead and shuffle and put it down and see what we get. So love, luck, and money. Here we go. Oh. So, Libra risings. Love is the 7 of Wands. Luck is death. And money is the 9 of Swords. So, I am not laughing at you, Libra risings, because I myself am also a Libra rising, but I am laughing at the situation because this money card is very relevant at this time. So let's start at the beginning, starting with love. Love is the 7 of Wands, and we talked about love just a second ago with the astrology chart, is that we are in a position where we are making the chase, we are being active, and this might not be something that we naturally gravitate towards. For a great many of us, remember, this is a generalized reading, so if you feel like this reading may not speak to you and you want to get a little more personal, I cannot speak today, personalized reading, be sure to tap that link in the description and you can get a reading from me personally on your birth chart, solar return, whatever feels best that you might need at this time. But with the Seven of Wands, the biggest thing to think about is that you're making a choice and you might feel like you have to defend that choice. Remember with the Seven of Wands is an active card. This is a card where you are pretty much fighting the opinions of others. Maybe this is with whatever love choice you have. Maybe this is with whatever goal you were trying to set. This could be working with a business partner. This could be just you trying to connect with others, and maybe others are not agreeing with you as well. Also, forgot to mention that Mars and Saturn, not Mars and Saturn, Mars and Mercury are going to be in your sixth house here. Mercury, remember, is going back to station direct. So anything that might have had to deal with work, and when I'm saying work here, not like career type work, the work that is kind of like the thankless work. So think like the job that pays the bills, that just gets you going, like in the everyday thing, but this is not like the grand career that you're looking for. This could also be like service. This can also be in regards to any illnesses or sickness that you may have had. In terms of Mercury coming direct, maybe it's time for you to start speaking out on things that you have felt that might have been a little more on the side of, maybe you've been suppressing how you feel when it comes to your health. Maybe like is you trying to get back into working out, but you have the drive there because Mars is there, but you might still feel a little lost in what it is you need to do, or trying to keep yourself inspired to keep moving. But the more that you work on it, and this is also a thing of consistency, the more you work on it, the more it'll benefit you in the end. So just keep that in mind, especially because Mercury is moving back into forward motion. And that Mercury is also a little bit about expression. It's not just about communication. It's also expression. It's also keeping moving forward with so when the thing comes with Mercury also is that you want to remember that it's not just about how you think and how you will move from one thing to the next. It's also about that connection and how you exchange with other people. So Mercury in this case is connected to, let's check, the 10th house, which has the Jupiter in Cancer, and then also with ninth and the 8th house. Well, not really the ninth house, but definitely the 8th house. A lot of unexpected things are happening here. So just keep that in mind. But going back to love, luck, and money. So 7th house, pretty much being in full, definitely staying pretty much 10 toes down on what you believe in and what you are willing to pursue. So you're going to have to keep that going. So remember, when it comes to love, love is not just your romantic sense. It can also be platonic, familial, and what have you. This could be like the love you may have for your business. This could be the love that you have for your partner. This could be the love that you have for maybe an open enemy, because that's also a part of the 7th house is open enemy, your ops, the people that you may not particularly have fond relationships with. And that's one of the things that they also don't tell you a lot of times, is that your 7th house, even though it's your house of partnership, it is also the house of your ops, because your ops is a partner in a partnership with you. They have some relation to you. You know what I mean? So, moving on, luck is the death card. And the biggest thing with the death card is we tend to think of this card as loss because it is death. But the other thing with death is that this is transformation. This is the change that has been coming your way for a very long time. You cannot stop this. You cannot avoid this. You have to go through that process. There is no jumping away from it. There is no, how you say, skipping. You have to go through this process. And sometimes that process is not easy. So allow yourself to feel as you're going through this process, and that will actually change your luck. The other thing with the death cards, some death cards sometimes can be a very internal process. um, you have to go through the dark in order to see the light. Other times you may see the death card, you can see it in the Ten of Wands, or not the death card, but the vibe that the death card carries, you can see in the Ten of Wands. And then on a very extreme uh, sense, you can see it in the Tower. The problem is with the Tower is that the Tower comes very hard, very fast, where death is very gradual. You have time to prepare for death in most cases. In most cases. I know somebody's probably going to be in the comments and be like, that's not the case. But in most cases, you are able to prepare for death. And by death, I mean that transition from one state of your life into the next, from one phase of your life into the next. So when it comes to your luck here, be willing to allow that change in your circumstances. Be willing to let luck change your circumstances. Sometimes that luck that we are looking for, we want everything to be good and happy and help and come to us in an easy manner. And sometimes the luck that we have may not make that happen in the way that we wanted. Sometimes, so for example, I like to use the phrase rejection is protection, in a sense that sometimes our luck shows up in the form of rejection because it's protecting us from something else. You know what I mean? Say, for example, if you got rejected from a job and that job turned out to be a job where not only did it not pay you well, it might have had like bad practices, and you were low key blessed for that because your luck protected you from that. That's a very random example, but it's just to kind of help you understand what this is going through. So, last thing is money, and money is the Nine of Swords. And like I said before, if you are like me, you've probably been feeling this a lot as of late. And if you have been on YouTube already and you've seen the previous New Year's readings from a lot of other well-known astrologers, you know that they say that money for Libra risings tends to be better this year, but you may not be feeling it at this time because look at this card. This card is very much about anxiety. This is very much about a lot of the thoughts that are in our head that are pretty much not giving us a good deal. So the best thing to say here is just sometimes you just got to go through it, and unfortunately that's not the ideal thing that we want to hear, but you can't also let your thoughts overpower you. And that's what the message of the Nine of Swords is that yes, you have a lot of things that are happening to you. Yes, there are a lot of terrible things that are happening in the world today. However, if you keep holding on to those thoughts are going to consume you. So if you feel like there is no other way to what you call it, get rid of those, I'm not gonna say get rid of those thoughts, but if there's no other way to process those thoughts, maybe take on a hobby or something that you have to do physically. Maybe that's going for a walk or a run, working with your hands. One of my good mentors always used to say that if you have if you work in a profession that uses a lot of your mind, do something as a hobby that uses your hands and your body just for balance. So the thing with your money card here is that you're going to have to find balance. Also remember that this is a 9 card, and 9s are the last in their cycle. So you are about to shift into something else, and hopefully it will be something bigger and better than the things that you have been going through, especially because we are coming out of Neptune and Saturn being in Pisces. And for Libra rising, that might not have been the best of situations for us, but we're entering a new phase. Yes, it's going to call for us to be a little more disciplined, to get out of our heads, get into our bodies, and get what we have been dreaming out into the world, whether it is the best looking or not. It is going to require us to chase, even though we are not used to chasing. We might be just used to attracting. But that doesn't mean that the work that you are putting out there isn't going to be the best work. So remember your partnerships. Remember, yes, you are going to have to do a lot of work, but also remember the sun is in Aries and your seventh house. This is a new beginning, new partnerships, new journeys. This could be new love. This could be the beginning of new money, because you might decide you want to start a business. There's a lot of energy in the seventh house for you. So make sure that one, you have a plan, and two, you work and keep working on that plan. So, Libra Risings, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, reach out, drop it in the comments, and until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye.